a warm welcome to His Holiness Bhakti Prabhava Swami. Bhakti Prabhava Swami is, I think, the only teacher of our Bhaktivedanta course who actually holds the Bhaktivedanta degree. He did this under Buriyam Prabhu and Narayani Mataji many years ago, almost 20 years ago. I mean, the graduation, at least the course was going on 20 years ago. Maharaj has got a lot of experience in management, as he has done many different services for the GBC. He has served as the secretary for the GBC, means the secretary for the Sannyas Ministry, secretary for the GBC Executive Committee. He has served in Radhadesh, engaged in multiple managerial projects, and he received sannyas in 2015 from His Holiness Bhakti Swami, and currently he travels extensively through Europe mainly, teaching and sharing Krishna consciousness with others. Maharaj, I don't know if are you still the temple president for ISKCON Belfast?
That was 8 years ago.
No,
since 8 years I'm
you're
not temple
based in Leicester
president
now.
No, not at all. I left the UK 8 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Nothing to do with the UK, nothing to do with Belfast. It's old stuff on the internet.
Yeah, well, the last thing I remember. So where are you? You have a base now?
I'm in Belgium, Radhadesh, yes.
Radhadesh, nice.
Yeah.
So Maharaj is teaching with Mayapur Institute for many years. He's been teaching Bhakti Vaibhava and Bhaktivedanta, and it's a great honor for us to have him with us. And particularly now we are in this very nectarian section of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So thank you, Maharaj, and thank you all the students. I'm going to make you the host, Maharaj, but I see that you're recording in your computer.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, we're recording everything on the cloud.
Yeah.
For the Mayapur Institute, and then after we can send you the links. Is that okay?
That's fine, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm making you the host, and Vishveshwara Prabhu will be, Vishveshwara Govinda Prabhu. He will be assisting you with the Zoom and whatever you need in terms of the running of the class. Basically, they have a reading order. So if you want the devotees to read the verses, they know whose turn it is.
Yeah.
Next, I'd just like to add, I was meant to tell the devotees, but maybe you could include in the list Maharaj also, right? The speaker should be included in that reading list, Vishveshwara Prabhu. So, okay, so having said that, I have made you the host, and I'll be Vishveshwara Prabhu the co-host.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
So now you are the host. So yeah, if you want to make the co-host someone, I cannot make the co-host anybody because I'm not the host anymore.
Okay.
So yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Radhika Prabhu. I'm very happy to be with you today to go to 2 beautiful chapters of the 10th canto that we will start today with. Lord Balaram slays the demon Pralamba. That before we start reading, we are praying for the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and the previous acaryas. Om Ajnana Timrandasya Tinanjana Shlakaya Saksharan Militam Yena Tasmai Shigurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutaleshvam Rupakadamyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shiyuda Padakamanam Shiram Vaishnavam Sha. Shri Rupam Jagajatam Sagan Ragnatam Vitam Tam Sajivan Sadvaitam Savdutam Parjana Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saganalita Shivishakam Vitam Sha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Tyatpate Gopesha Gopka Kanta Radhakanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sutadevi Pranamama Hare Priye Vancha Kalptrubhasha Kripasan Vivasha Patnam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namo Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamine Namaste Saraswata Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paskachai Desatarani Krishna Svadamopagate Dharma Jnana Dipisa Kalanashadisha Mesha Purnarko Dunodita. This Bhagavat Purana is as brilliant as the sun, and it has arisen after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion and knowledge. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance in the age of Kali shall get light from this Purana. This is how the Purana, it's Srimad Bhagavatam, is glorifying itself. That at the end of the Bhagavatam, that we have it is mentioned, Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Yat Vaishnavam Prayam Yasmin Paramam Sameka Namalam Shyanam Param Giyate Tatra Jnana Viraga Bhakta Saitam Nashkam Avishkritam Tat Shrimvan Supatam Vicharano Paro Bhaktya Vimuchan Namaha. Srimad Bhagavatam is a spotless Purana. It is most dear to the Vaishnavas because it describes the pure and supreme knowledge of the Paramahamsas. The Bhagavatam reveals the means for becoming free from all material work, together with the process of transcendental knowledge, renunciation and devotion. Anyone who seriously tries to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, who properly hears and chants it with devotion, becomes completely liberated. So this is the glorification of the Bhagavatam.
Maharaj,
Yes.
sorry to interrupt. Could you please record the class?
Okay.
Maybe you can make maybe Vishveshwara Prabhu co-host, and he can take care of that.
Say record in the cloud. Huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Starts now connecting.
Recording in progress.
It's in.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm making co-host. How do I do that?
You can click on his name on the site, and when you click, it gives you the choice.
Make co-host. Okay. That's done. Hare Krishna. So in the beginning, we glorify Srimad Bhagavatam to be aware of its value and the benedictions that this study will bring. And we offer our respect. We offer our respect to the previous acaryas and to the Bhagavatam, This is important. In Vedic culture, we are not just going into the study. We have an auspicious beginning in which we glorify the spiritual masters and also the Bhagavatam. This chapter is very unique because in this chapter, Krishna is not going to kill a demon. It will be Balaram. I have that picture on the screen that of this big demon and Balaram doing the needful. That in Bhaktivedanta, he says that this Pralambasur symbolizes lust and hidden passion, two-faced behavior, duplicity. That's because we will see he's pretending to be a coward boy. But what he seeks is, he wants to get rid of Krishna and Balaram he's a servant of Kamsa. So we will keep that in mind. Also, this chapter, first we will see it describes the forest, very beautiful, the forest of Vrindavan. That I did three times Vrajamandal Parikram, 1990, 2000, 2001, 1 month wandering through entire Vraj, and you see the 12 forest. So that when you read his description, you get reminded of the uniqueness of Vrindavan. And then we will hear about how they play these coward boys in Vrindavan. Very, very nicely described how they play. And and what kinds, what kind of play they perform, and then we will go in the story of Pralambasur. Pralambasur, who mingles himself with the coward boys, and Krishna, he pretends to be coward boy, and Krishna, of course, he knows what's going on, but to not making him suspicious, he has a friendly relationship with him. That we will see how it further unfolds. During our study, we will read the verses, yes, but also some of the verses of the previous acaryas. I went through it, and we will not read the entire commentaries, that's too much, but I highlighted some passages that we will read, and I put some stickers here and there with comments, which we will go through. So now I will bring on the screen the text that just a moment. I stop sharing this. I say share. Button mail. It doesn't appear. Just a moment. I bring it first on my screen. There it is. Back to the Zoom. Share. Okay. It is here. So we'll start with the first verse. I will start with reading the Sanskrit. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sisuka Ovacha Ata Krishna Parivrito Jatibir Muditatmabhihi Anuchi Yamano Vyasat Vrachanko Kulamanditam. So can someone read the translation, the first one?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes.
Pranam Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah.
Translation. Text number 1. Sukadeva Goswami said, surrounded by his blissful companions, who constantly chanted his glories, Sri Krishna then entered the village of Raja, which was decorated with herds of cows.
So the
Krishna Chakravarti Thakura 10.18.1. This chapter describes the summer season, how Krishna carried Dama on his shoulders, and how Pralamba carried Balarama. Jivaka Goswami's commentary. The compassionate sweetness of the previous evening was not given up. The next morning, Atha, Krishna completely surrounded by relatives, filled with affection and being glorified, entered Raja, decorated with the cows. Before entering, the cows had returned. Or Gokula Manditam can be an adverb modifying entered. He entered with cows around him. The cows came back in the morning, since they left the place because of poison and the fire, and desired to graze in the immediate area around Raja, measuring 1 krosa. Or they desired to return from the ultimately journey cows like regularity. The really reason, however, is like the humans, the cows could not give up Raja.
So the cows could not give up Vraj. Yeah, I have it.
Another Goswami's commentary.
Okay.
After the night, in the morning, herding the cows, or in the forenoon, Atha, Krishna entered Raja. It was impossible that they all went back with the cows that night. Yashoda and others also went more quickly in order to go to the houses and send meals. He entered with cows around him. The cows came back in the morning, since they left the place because of poison and the fire, and desired to graze in the immediate area around Raja, measuring 1 krosa. Or they desired to return from the untimely journey, cows like regularity. The real reason, however, is that like the humans, the cows could not give up Raja.
So yes, the cows were could not give up Vraj. So in which rasa are the cows? Someone knows? In
Shanta Maharaj?
Santa, that's one proposal, yes. That some of our acaryas say in Vrindavan there is no Santaraj, they are all the higher races. Sakya ras, or Vatsalya, or
Vatsalya.
Vatsalya. Yes, that's, I heard also many times Vatsalya, because they are mothers, they are given milk to Krishna. That's interesting, Vatsalya. Good, because of course the cows are attached to, could not give up Vraj. So that's the kind of attachment we need to Vrindavan or Goloka Vrindavan, that we are so absorbed in it that we cannot give it up. We want always to be in Vrindavan with our consciousness. Srila Prabhupada, he came to America. He left Vrindavan, but internally he was always rooted in Vrindavan. He did not accept the American lifestyle. that he remained simple as in Vrindavan. So that is, although we may not be in Vrindavan or even not in India, but internally we can become rooted in Vrindavan. That I remember when I did this Vrajamandal Parikram, you come at all these places where Krishna had these pastimes. This pastime is near to Bhaktivedanta. In Bhaktivedanta there is a big banyan tree. It's 50 meters long or longer. I never saw such a thing. It is set in this banyan tree. When the cowboys arrived, they were with their sticks. They were hanging their lunch on the tree, and then they went playing. But doing this parikram, then the great benefit later when I came back, you read Krishna book and you said, oh, I was there. Yes, I heard the pastime. Lokanath Maharaj was telling the pastime, and you remember. You were so internally rooted in Vrindavan. And that is a quality of all the residents of Vraj. They are attached to Krishna in Vrindavan. Also the gopis. Later they went to Kurukshetra to see Krishna, but they said this is not the same Krishna. He's in a royal dress. No, he should come back to Vrindavan. That is his home. So attached to Vrindavan. Good. I'll read the Sanskrit. Text 2. Vrache frekidato evam kopala chatmamaya. Krismona machtur abhavan. Nati priyam charirinam. Can someone read?
Yes, translation. When Krishna and Balarama were just enjoying life in Vrindavan, in the guise of ordinary cowherd boys, the summer season gradually appeared. This season is not very pleasing to embodied souls. Purport. In chapter 18 the Krishna of Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Srila Prabhupada comments as follows. The summer season in India is not very much welcomed because of the excessive heat, but in Vrindavan, everyone was pleased because summer there appeared just like spring. Hare Krishna.
Yes, we see here in Vrindavan, summer was like spring. In the Bhagavatam we hear also in Goloka Vrindavan. So the difference between one of the difference between the spiritual world and the material world is in the spiritual world. In the material world, everyone is controlled by time, and time makes everybody go to changes. That old age, disease, death, and so on. But in Goloka Vrindavan, time becomes the servant of the pastime. Because we heard during the Rasa Lila that time expanded and became like a night of Brahma. So they need more time. Time expands. It is the servant. Time becomes a servant of the pastimes, and here we see the seasons. Here we are conditioned by these seasons, but in Vrindavan, Goloka Vrindavan, also the summer, it's like spring. Someone can maybe read Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's comment.
Herding the cows
was a pretense for going to the forest and playing with the other boys. By cheating materialistic men with this pretense, Krishna and Balarama played with the young girls. That Balarama had separate gopis is described in Ananda Vrindavana Champu. This will also be described later in Bhagavatam. Jiva Goswami.
Okay, Jiva Goswami, you can read.
Jiva Goswami. They played cheating those who speak with deception about cow herding. Or Gopala Chadma Mayaya means they use cow herding as an excuse for playing, thus cheating people. They carried out special playing, Ukridataho. Summer then appeared fully, Nama. It was not too pleasing, it was a little pleasing, however, because there was opportunity for water sports.
So, it means the cowboys, they went with Krishna herding the cows. But they were more interested in playing with Krishna. Herding the cows was only a pretense to play with Krishna. So therefore, our acaryas here point out, yes, we will hear about the playing of the cowboys, what they are doing. That, yeah. So here it is said by Sanatana Goswami, the summer season manifested in name only, Nam. Without negative features, all the seasons summer manifested conspicuously, Nam. So the summer, it was in name only. All the negative effects were not there. So this is a feature of the spiritual world, that's what I wrote. Pleasing without any suffering as found in the material world. The essence is bhakti ras. That's what we all want. That a bhakti ras means transcendental mellows. That is experienced in these transcendental emotions are experienced in our relationship with Krishna, these transcendental emotions. And Rupa Goswami says, yes, they are not like material enjoyment, which is bogatyag, sometimes renunciation and a little enjoyment. That in the material world, all happiness is chanchala, flickering. But this is here staibhav, always constant. And that's constant ecstasy in our relationship with Krishna. And this is what they experienced. Okay, then we can go. I will read text 3. Sasa Vrindavana guner vashanta iva lakshitaha yatraste bhagavan saksa ramena saha keshava. Next to it.
Translation. Nevertheless, because the Supreme Personality of Godhead was personally staying in Vrindavan along with Balaram, summer manifested the qualities of spring. Such are the features of the land of Vrindavan.
Thank you. So, it is said summer was like spring. Jiva Goswami. Someone can read this purport, only the highlighted part.
Hare Krishna. Yes. Summer, however, was like spring because of the qualities of Vrindavana. By contact with Vrindavana, with eternal spring, it took all the qualities of spring. This is the power of Vrindavan.
So the power of Vrindavan that I've been many times at Govardhan in the winter. It's very cold. But it is said that this is to keep the materialists away. But those in transcendental consciousness do not experience it as such. Okay, Sanatana Goswami, the same, text 4. Yatra nirchara nirada nivritta svanna chidikam sasvata shikararchisa druma mandla manditam. Next one to read.
Translation. In Vrindavana, the loud sound of waterfalls covered the cricket's noise, and clusters of trees constantly moistened by spray from those waterfalls beautified the entire area. Purport. These and the following three verses describe how Vrindavana manifested the features of spring even during the summer season.
Yeah, can I read also Vishwanath and Shiva Goswami's commentary?
In 4 verses, the similarity of summer to spring is described. During the summer in Vrindavana, the sound of waterfalls, Niranjana Nirhida, covered the sound of the crickets. It was decorated with groups of trees constantly touched by drops of water from the waterfalls. Jiva Goswami, 5 verses describe the forest. The verb is in verse 8. Krishna entered the forest. However, the verses will be analyzed separately for clarity. Yatra or in Vrindavana should be understood for all the phrases. He entered the forest of Vrindavana where there were the sounds of waterfalls, echoing sounds of crickets, and trees with moist water drops. Or there was the sound of crickets covered by the sound of waterfalls, which gave the illusion of the monsoon season. Thus, there was no sadness, only joy. There were decorations, mandanam, made by groups of trees covered in moisture from the waterfalls. The past participle is also seen in another version, manditam. Sometimes the word mandape is also seen.
So in Vrindavan there is also only joy that sometimes difficult for us to grasp. The gopis and Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yasoda feeling separation from Krishna, it looks like sadness, but factually it's in higher joy and higher ecstasy. They are not under the material energy. The material energy, the 3 modes, goodness, passion, ignorance. No, they are under the spiritual energy. Sandini, Samvit and Ladini, especially they are in this Ladini, this blissful consciousness. And they don't want to come down from that consciousness. So therefore, Nanda Maharaj sees Krishna as his son because that's the basis of his intense love for Krishna, parenthood, and he would never accept that Krishna would not be his son. That's not possible. He stays in this higher Ladini Shakti. And it's only joy. And here we will hear about Sakyaras, the friendship between the cowboys. They see each other as friends. So they see Krishna as one of their friends. But they are all fixed on Krishna. That Krishna is the center of their existence. So text 5. Saritsara Prasravanor vayuna Kalara kanjot palareno harina Na vidyate yatra vanokasham davo Nidachta vannachka bhavo trisattvale. So, next to it.
Translation. The wind wafting over the waves of the lakes and flowing rivers carried away the pollen of many varieties of lotuses and water lilies and then cooled the entire Vrindavan area. Thus, the residents there did not suffer from the heat generated by the blazing summer sun and seasonal forest fires. Indeed, Vrindavan was abundant with fresh green grass. Shall I read Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary?
Yeah, good.
Vrindavan was cool in the summer because of the breezes rising from the waves of the rivers. The winds, which were like thieves stealing unnoticed, and silently, the pollen from the lotuses blew gently, full of fragrance, and gave relief from the heat. Though the summer sun usually dries up everything, it did not do so in Vrindavan. Thus, the places was full of tender green grass.
Yes, we see also during the summer in India many times everything looks burnt by the sun, not so much green. But here the summer is like spring. Every abundant fresh green grass. So Krishna takes care of the cows, gives them the best green grass. That although it is summer, it is like spring. Now, so the summer usually dries up everything. It did not so in Vrindavan. Just the places was full of tender green grass. Therefore, that was one of the reasons why Upananda decided to move from Gokul to Vrindavan, because there is Govardhan and a lot of green grass for the cows. Especially Govardhan serves all the residents of Vrindavan and the cows, with providing them fresh green grass, by fresh water to drink, and so on, and cooling caves. So Jiva Goswami, he quotes from the Vishnu Purana. So can someone read Jiva Goswami's commentary?
In Vrindavana Yatra, because of the cool wind, there was no excessive heat. That is one reason. Another reason was the green grass. Vishnu Purana says, Tada Tadiktrukshu Avi Krama Kale Dvija Atma Pavitra Kale Ivo Bodhatum Navases Prahat Samantaha. O Brahmana, though it was very dry in the summer in Vrindavana, there was fresh grass growing everywhere as if it were monsoon season. Instead of Sadvala, sometimes Sadvala in seen. This is according to the rule Nada Sadat Vitvala.
Yes, that it is as it were monsoon season. It doesn't look like summer. It looked like spring or monsoon season, rainy season, but there was no rain. Interesting. Agada toya radini tator mivir travat pusha polinai samantata nayatra shamdam sukara visolbana buvora samsat phalitam sakrinate. Can someone read the translation and also the purport of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur?
With their flowing waves, the deep rivers drenched their banks, making them damp and muddy. Thus the rays of the sun, which were as fierce as poison, could not evaporate the earth's sap or parch its green grass. One reason, Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, one reason for absence of the heat of the sun was mentioned previously, the tall trees giving shade. This verse mentions another reason. The sun could not dry up the mud, Ulisha, on the bank of the deep flowing rivers mixed with the green grass.
Okay.
Jiva Goswami.
Yeah, you can read Jiva Goswami. Why is the grass green? You can read.
Why is the grass green? Since the water is deep, the river always creates waves and tends to be broad. Ulisha is a feminine form of Ulisha, mud, following Panini 4.1.42. Because the many banks and because the waves touch the shores of the deep lakes, the fierce rays of the sun could remove the muddy earth's moisture, which produced grass. Or because the banks are made muddy by the waves touching the shores of the deep lakes, the fierce rays of the sun could remove the earth's moisture with grass. The word samantataha, everywhere, should be understood for second part of the verse as well as the banks were everywhere and the damp earth was everywhere. This happens throughout Vrindavana because the lakes are plentiful.
So, thank you. So, different reasons are given for that the grass was still very green. So here in the verse, deep flowing rivers means they give the rivers. Deep flowing gives a lot of water for the grass. So that is one reason given here. So also, because Jiva Goswami explained that the banks were muddy by the waves. And therefore the fierce rays of the sun could not remove the earth's moisture because the rivers were providing So of course we know that Mother Earth felt ecstatic when Krishna was on her service, and therefore she gave in abundance and provided probably also water. It's inconceivable how this happens. Now the next verse, I think the last verse, describing the beauty of the forest in summer. Vanam kusumitam shriman nadashitra mrihat gayan mayura brahmaram kujat kokila sarasam. Can someone read the translation and the purport?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. Translation. Flowers beautifully decorated the forest of Vrindavan, and many varieties of animals and birds filled it with sound. The peacocks and bees sang, and the cuckoos and cranes cooed. Jiva Goswami, Commentary 10.18.7. The beauty Shriman is described. The forest was spread with unlimited blossoming flowers. Though it was summer, the qualities of spring manifested. Birds, Vijam, are mentioned, and peacocks, though included among birds, are also mentioned to show a different type of beauty. Hare Krishna, thank you.
Thank you. So we can visualize the beauty of Vrindavan. The trees full of leaves, everywhere grass, very green, and so many animals going through it, and bees, peacocks, cuckoos, cranes, and so on. And we will see that they will be part, the cowherd boys will imitate many of these birds and animals that we will hear about the cowherd boys play and the joy of that play. So we are hearing about the plants and the animals, the birds, the peacocks, and now Krishna is entering. Kredisyamana stat Krishno Paravam Bala Samyutaha Venum Virannayan Goper Godanai Samvrito Visat. Yeah, can someone read the translation, the purport of Srila Goswami?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Intending the engaged in pastime, Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, accompanied by Lord Balaram and surrounded by the cowherd boy and the cows, entered the forest of Vrindavan as he played his flute. Jiva Goswami comment on 18:8. Krishna desired some special play since he is endowed with pastime which attacks the universe, and since he is a Bhagavan, endowed with all quality, he was accompanied specially some Yutaha by Balaram. The special purpose will be so later. He played his flute in a special way with a desire to excite everyone with bliss in expectation of playing. He was surrounded by cowherd boys and a well of cows, since the cows are suitable for the play of cowherd boy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we are about excitement. The play. They are going to play together. And have fun, transcendental fun, because Krishna is the center of their play. Krishna and Balaram, because Balaram is also there, is especially mentioned here, because he will play a prominent role in these pastimes. We see here very beautifully Krishna entering the scenes with all the cowherd boys. Of course, in the morning, these cowherd boys have assembled before the house of Nanda Maharaj, long before the sun comes up. They are so excited to go and play with Krishna so they are all waiting. When Krishna comes out, of course, Mother Yasoda comes out, embraces Krishna, gives and says to Balaram, you go in front, you protect him always, and then another cowherd boy, which he says, yeah, you look at Krishna from behind, and she gives him a sweet too big to carry for Krishna. It's a whole ceremony before Krishna can leave. Mother Yasoda goes in and out 3 times, embracing Krishna every time. And then they are leaving. They're leaving for the forest, and the forest immediately start to reciprocate, offer their fruits, offer their flowers, and the peacocks do a dance. And then the gopis are in the bushes. From the corner of their eyes, they look at Krishna. And Krishna enters their heart and steals their mind. So that is, and now Krishna is entering the forest here, is entering the scene. Text 9. Pravalabhasa stabhaka shraktatu kritabhusanaha Rama Krishna Dhayo Gopa Nanritu Yuyudo Chaho. Summary to translation and purport of Vishwanath and Jiva Goswami.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Translation. Decorating themselves with newly grown leaves along with peacock feathers, garlands, clusters of flower buds, and colored minerals, Balaram, Krishna, and their cowherd friends danced, wrestled, and sang. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Here Balaram is also addressed as Gopa to indicate that even he became absorbed in his identity as an ordinary cowherd boy. Jiva Goswami. This verse shows that the boys is playing chose at their will what to do. Though they were most expert, the two boys identified themselves as cowherds and did not distinguish themselves from others and thus obtained the highest place. Thus Shukdev simply says Balaram, Krishna and other boys. Absorbed in the pastimes, they danced, fought and sang.
Thank you.
Salvador Goswami.
Yeah, just wait. So I wrote here Lila Sakti. Lord Krishna makes it a real experience and desires to absorb in the mood of a cowherd boy. His godhood becomes secondary. So, by the power of Lila Sakti, which is also under his control, he becomes really absorbed in the identity of a cowherd boy, just to experience the love and reciprocation with the cowherd boys. This is, so Krishna wants to have a real experience. Okay, I write here free will. That's important. So this verse shows that the boys in playing choose at their will what to do. So this is, everyone has his free will, and our free will in the material world is very restricted. That we are conditioned by the modes of nature, and we have to act as the body to a certain extent. But still, we have free will. Free will to connect ourselves with Krishna or to connect ourselves with the material energy. And we execute that free will by our desire. That's our free will. And here also the cowherd boys have their desires and they choose at will what to do. And Krishna respects that free will. That of course it's not that they have that in the spiritual world their free will can be exhibited to a higher extent than in the material world. But in the material world, and that is what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, in the 15th chapter at the end, he said there are two kinds of living beings, the conditioned soul and the liberated soul. And in the next verse, Krishna said, but I'm above the liberated and the conditioned souls, above them. I'm above them, and I control both. So we are under the control of Krishna's material energy, and in the spiritual world we are under the control of Krishna's spiritual energy. That's a different experience, being under the control of the spiritual energy. So the two boys identified themselves as cowards and did not distinguish themselves from others. So means they were equals. Yeah, on the platform of equality. That is acaryas. In Nectar of Devotion, we hear about this acaryas, and maybe we will read also about the acaryas a little further. That so can someone read the purport of Sanatana Goswami?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yep.
This verse shows that the other boys were suitable for play or were naturally suitable by their skill in dancing, decorating themselves with forest ornaments, and expressing great joy at all times. Krishna and Balaram, by absorption in these cowherd pastimes, show their identity as cowherd only. Or the verse expresses that without expectation, all the boys played like Krishna and Balaram. Using their names also indicates that all the boys took pleasure in Rama and were attracted to Krishna, the two boys dancing and others' actions. That will be the indication in later verse also. First, they all danced in joy without instruments. Then they wrestled passionately because they were of equal strength. They then sang joyfully on winning, or some danced, some fought, and some sang since. That is mentioned in the next verse. Others played instruments. That should be understood for this verse also. Since they could not dance without music, at the first they danced out of great joy, spontaneously, and later with music. Hare Krishna.
So they were wrestling with each other. I remember it, I think it was Sridham who was always wrestling with Krishna and was defeating Krishna. He was always defeating Krishna. Of course, Krishna allowed him out of love. But yeah, at one time, one side, they were on the level of equality, but at the other side, Krishna was always in their center. Good. We will read one more verse now before having a pause. Krishnasya kriyata kechit jahu kechit avadayan Venupanitalai Shringai Prashasam Sur Atapare. As Krishna danced, some of the boys accompanied him by singing, and others by playing flutes, hand cymbals, and buffalo horns, while still others praised his dancing. I'm sorry. Can the next read the purport and Vishwanath Srivakti Thakur?
Purport. Wanting to encourage Sri Krishna, some of the cowherd boys openly praised his dancing. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. In this verse, Krishnasya Nirtataha is the same as Krishne Nirtyati, genitive absolute in place of locative absolute. When Krishna began dancing, some sang, some played flutes, some played kartalas, and some blew horns, while others gave praise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can also read Jiva Goswami.
Jiva Goswami. In a gathering of Sri Dhamma and his friends, Balarama and Krishna, as the chief dancers, dressed like dancers from another region, danced. Krishna danced first. That is described in 2 verses. Other leaders of Sri Dhamma's group praised Krishna profusely, pointing out his superiority over others, saying, very good, very good.
Mm-hmm. So I'm writing, Jiva Goswami is seeing the pastime. It's not just analyzing the Sanskrit also, it's visualizing it. That like is seeing the past, and in Aprakat Lila in his heart, he sees all these pastimes. Therefore our Therefore, it always said that we should see Krishna's pastimes through the eyes of the previous acaryas. It's amazing, all these details and then, so it becomes an entire festival. That is the spiritual world, always festival. That we experience that also sometimes during kirtan festivals, that and Gaunitai always with their hands high raised in a festival mode dancing. So that's the spiritual world, an eternal festival. So it's very beautiful. So it is 4:30. We will resume in 14 minutes from now. 4:45. We have a pause, and then we go further with the second half. Because this is quite a short chapter. But if you have any questions, note them down, and we can discuss afterwards. Thank you.
Recording in progress.
Hare Krishna. So we will continue. Before continuing, we will learn from Nectar of Devotion more about fraternal love, especially the fraternal love of Krishna's associates in Vrindavan. So we will read a few paragraphs from that. Can someone read this highlighted section? Moment, I highlighted it again. Something in the way here. It's that part. The next. Yes, please.
Shri Maharaj. Yeah. The impetus to fraternal love upon seeing the associates of Krishna in Vrindavana is also very natural, for their personal bodily features, their qualities and their dress are all equal to Krishna's. These associates are always happy in their service to Krishna, and they are generally known as Vaisyas, or friends of the same age. The Vaisyas are fully confident of protection by Krishna. Devotees sometimes pray, let us offer our respectful obeisances unto the Vaisyas of Krishna, who are firmly convinced of Krishna's friendship and protection, and whose devotion to Krishna is ever fixed. They are fearless, and on a level equal with Krishna, they discharge their transcendental loving devotional service. Such eternal Vaisyas are also found beyond the jurisdiction of Vrindavana in places such as Dwaraka and Hastinapura. Except for Vrindavana, all the places of Krishna's pastimes are called Puras, that is towns. Mathura and Hastinapura, the capital of the Kurus, are both Puras.
Yes, but we are concerned with Vrindavan here. Therefore, we skip this paragraph and then we continue hearing as far as the Vaisyas in Vrindavan are concerned. Yeah, can you read? So.
Yeah. As far as the Vaisyas, that is friends in Vrindavana, are concerned, they become greatly distressed when they cannot see Krishna even for a moment. There is the following prayer by a devotee for the Vaisyas in Vrindavana. All glories to Krishna's Vaisyas, who are just like Krishna in their age, qualities, pastimes, dress and beauty. They are accustomed to playing on their flutes made of palm leaves and they all have buffalo horn bugles ornamented like Krishna's with jewels such as Indra Neela and with gold and coral. They are always jubilant like Krishna. May these glorious companions of Krishna always protect us.
Thank you. Now, can someone read the next paragraph? Someone else, next paragraph which is on the screen?
Yes, Hare Krishna. The Vayagyas in Vrindavan are in such intimate friendship with Krishna that sometimes they think themselves as good as Krishna. Here is an instance of such friendly feeling. When Krishna was holding up golden hill with his left hand, the Vayagyas said, "Dear friend, you have been standing for the last 7 days and nights without any rest. This is very troublesome for us because we see that you have undertaken a severely laborious task. We think therefore that you need not continue to stand in that way holding the heel. You can just transfer it onto Sudama's hand. We are very much aggrieved to see you in this position. If you think that Sudama is not able to suffer golden heel, then at least you should change hands. Instead of supporting it with your left hand, please transfer it to your right hand so that we can give your left hand a massage. This is an instance of intimacy showing how much the Vayagyas consider themselves to be equal to Krishna. Hare
Yes.
Krishna.
Yes, this is a beautiful pastime covered downhill. Under this hill, when Krishna has lifted the hill, you have all these rasas going on. Mother Mangal, we sing, yes, it's by my Brahma Tejas, by my Brahminical power, that Krishna lift the hill. By my Brahma Tejas, it's just hovering above his left hand. So this is the spiritual illusion that it's all Lila Shakti that facilitate in Krishna's pastimes. They are convinced they are equal to Krishna. So, can someone read the next paragraph in Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto? There it's,
In Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 12th chapter, verse 11, Shukadeva Goswami tells King Parikshit, "My dear king, Krishna is the supreme personality Godhead to the learned transcendentalist. He is a supreme happiness for the impersonalist. He is a supreme worshipable deity for the devotee. And he is just like an ordinary boy to one who is under the spell of Maya. And just imagine, these cowherd boys are now playing with the Supreme Person as though they were on an equal level. By this, anyone can understand that these boys must have accumulated heaps of the results of pious activities to enable them to associate with the Supreme Personality Godhead in such intimate friendship."
Yes, that we are hearing more about the Vayasyas in Vrindavan in the next paragraph, and we will hear about how they are divided in 4 groups. Can someone else read this? There is a description of Krishna's feeling. You can read the entire paragraph and the next one also.
There is descriptions of Krishna's feeling for his Vaishyas in Vrindavan. He once said to Balaram, "My dear brother, when my companions were being caught by the Agasura, all tears poured down from my eyes, and as they were washing my cheek, my dear elder brother For at least one moment, I completely lost myself. Within Kokla, Krishna Vaisas are generally divided into 4 groups. 1. Well-wisher friends. 2. Friends. 3. Confidential friend. And 4. Intimate friends. Krishna's well-wisher friends are little bit older than Krishna, and they have some parental affections for him. Because of their being older than Krishna, they always try to protect him from any harm. As such, they sometimes wear weapons so that they can chastise any mischievous persons who want to do harm to Krishna. Counted among the well-wisher friends are Subhadra, Mandali Patra, Patra Padana, Gopata, Yaksha, Indraprata, Patraranga, Veerapatra, Mahaguna, Vijaya, and Balapatra. They are older than the Krishna and are always thinking of his welfare.
Yeah, you can read the next also.
Yes, okay. One of the elder friends said, "My dear Mandali Patra, why are you wielding a shining sword as though you were running towards Arastasura to kill him? My dear Baladev, why are you unnecessarily bearing that heavy blow? My dear Vijaya, don't be unnecessarily agitated. My dear Bhadra Vardhana, there is no need to make these threatening motions. If you will all look more closely, you will see that it is only a thundercloud upon Kaudan Hill. It is not a Arasta Suras in the shape of a bull, as you have imagined. These all the well-wisher friend of Krishna had imagined a large cloud to be the Arasta Sura appearing in the shape of huge bull. In the midst of their excitement, one of them ascertained that it was actually
ascertained
that it was actually only a cloud on Kaudan Hill. He therefore informed the others not to take trouble of worrying about Krishna because there was no present danger from Arista Sura.
So these are the first category, the well-wishing friends, that it continues like that. Baladev's affection, Balaram for Krishna, is also tinged with parental love. And now friends who are younger than Krishna. Can someone read the next paragraph? Someone else? Thank you.
Harichandra.
I can read.
Sorry, I'm here. Friends who are younger than Krishna, who are always attached to him and who give him all kinds of service are called ordinary friends or simply friends. Such ordinary friends are called sakhas, and the names of some sakhas are Vishala, Vrishabha, Ojasvi, Devaprastha, Virudhaba, Maranda, Kusumandiva, Zuampida, Manipanda, and Karanthama. All of these sakhas, friends of Krishna, seek only to serve him. Sometimes, some of them would rise early in the morning and immediately go to Krishna's place and wait at the door to see Krishna and to accompany him to the pasturing grounds. In the meantime, Krishna would be dressed by Mother Yashoda, and when she would see a boy standing at the door. She would call him, "Well, Vishala, why are you standing there? Come here." So, with the permission of Mother Yashoda, he would immediately enter the house. And while Mother Yashoda was dressing Krishna, he would try to help put on Krishna's ankle bells, and Krishna would jokingly strike him with his flute. Then Mother Yashoda would call, "Krishna, what is this? Why are you teasing your friend?" And Krishna would laugh, and the friend would also laugh. These are some of the activities of Krishna's Sakhas. Sometimes the Sakhas would take care of the cows who were going hither and thither. They would tell Krishna, "Your cows were going off here and there," and Krishna would thank them.
So the next paragraph is related to the pastime we are discussing. The Krishna's girl, the Kamsa would send a demon to kill. Can someone read also this paragraph sometimes?
Yes, Maharaj, Hare Krishna. Sometimes when Krishna and his Sakhas went to the pasturing ground, Kamsa would send a demon to kill Krishna. Therefore, almost every day there was a fight with some different kind of demon. After fighting with the demon, Krishna would feel fatigued. The hairs on his head would be scattered, and the Sakhas would immediately come and try to relieve him in different ways. Some friends would say, "My dear Vishala, please take this fan of lotus leaves and fan Krishna so that he may feel some comfort. Varutapa, you just brush the scattered hairs on Krishna's head, which have fallen upon his face. Vrishabha, don't talk unnecessarily. Immediately massage Krishna's body. His arms have become tired from fighting and wrestling with the demon. Oh, just see how our friend Krishna has become tired." These are some examples of the treatment given to Krishna by the Sakhas.
Okay, so these are the younger ones. We can read one more small paragraph on these younger ones. Can someone read this paragraph? This
one of the
small, yeah. So this.
Yeah. Sakhas known as Ram and a very scholar, and is very expert in playing ball. He wears a white dress and he ties his hair into a punch with a rope. Whenever there is a fight between Krishna and the demons, Devaprastha is the first one to help, and he fights just like an elephant.
Yeah, thank you. Devaprastha. Anyway, so there are. Now we are speaking about the next category, the confidential friends. So can someone read these two paragraphs? Sometimes a confidential friend.
Sometimes a confidential friend would come before Krishna and embrace him with great love, affection and love. Another friend would then come up from the rear and cover Krishna's eyes with his hands. Krishna would always feel very happy by such dealings with his confidential friends. Out of all these confidential friends, Sridama is considered to be the chief. Sridama used to put on yellow colored dress. He would carry a buffalo horn, and his turban was of reddish copper color. His bodily complexion was blackish, and around his neck there was a nice garland. He would always challenge Krishna in joking friendship. Let us pray to Sridama to bestow his mercy upon us.
Yes, that's nice. So let's read one more paragraph about the confidential friends, Sridam. Someone can read.
Sometimes Sridam used to address Krishna. "Oh, you are so cruel that you left us alone on the bank of the Yamuna, and we were all mad from not seeing you there. Now it is our great fortune that we are able to see you here. If you want to pacify us, you must embrace each one of us with your arms. But believe me, my dear friend, a moment's absence from you creates great havoc. not only for us, but for the cows also. Everything becomes disarranged and we become mad after you.
Yes, so we have heard about 3 kinds of friends until now. That those who are older, 1 year older, they have parental love. Those who are younger, who are serving Krishna as a menial servant. And then we have the equals, that the confidential friends. But now we will hear about the still more confidential friends, the Priya Narma friends of Krishna. Okay, someone can read this paragraph, which is on the screen.
There are other friends who are still more confidential. They are called Priya Narma, intimate friends. Counted among the Priya Narma friends are Shubala, Arjuna, Idharva, Basanta, Ujjala. There was talk among the friends of Radharani, the gopis, about these most intimate friends. One gopi addressed Radharani thus, "My dear Shangi, delicate one, just see how Shubala is whispering your message into Krishna's ear, how he is delivering the confidential letter of Shamadasi silently into Krishna's hand, how he is delivering the betel nuts prepared by Palika into Krishna's mouth, and how he is decorating Krishna with the garland prepared by Taraka. Did you know, my dear friend? And all these most intimate friends of Krishna are always engaged in his service in this way. Out of the many intimate Priya Normas, Shubala and Ujjala are considered to be the most prominent.
Yeah, Subal and Ujjvala, the Priya Narmas. And that let's hear about Subal and Ujjvala. So can someone read the description of Subal here?
Subala's body is described as follows. His complexion is just like molten gold. He is very, very dear to Krishna. He always has a garland around his neck and he wears yellow clothing. His eyes are just like lotus flower petals and he is so intelligent that by his talking and his moral instructions, all the other friends take the highest pleasure. Let us all offer our respectful obeisances unto Krishna's friend Subala. The degree of intimacy shared by Krishna and Subala can be understood by the fact that the talk between them was so confidential that no one else could understand what they were saying.
Okay, and now the description of Ujjvala.
The description of Ujjvala.
Moment, bring it a bit. Okay.
The description of Ujjvala, another intimate friend, is given as follows. Ujjvala always wears some garment of orange color and the movements of his eyes are always very restless. He likes to decorate himself with all kinds of flowers. His bodily hue is almost like Krishna's and on his neck there is always a necklace of pearls. He is always very dear to Krishna. Let us all worship Ujjvala, the most intimate friend of Krishna. About the confidential service of Ujjvala, the statement is to be found addressed by Radharani to one of her friends. My dear friend, it is impossible for me to keep my prestige. I want to avoid talking to Krishna anymore. But just see, there again is his friend Ujjvala coming to me with his canvassing work. His entreaties are so powerful that it is very difficult for a gopi to resist her love for Krishna, even though she may be very bashful, devoted to her family duties, and most faithful to her husband.
Thank you. Good. So there are further further references to these different groups that and we will now go back to our pastime. We have been absorbed in these 4 kinds of friends of Krishna that now we will continue with moments.
The model that was from business book? 41, chapter 41?
Please? Yeah.
Which book, Krishna?
That was from Krishna book, yes. Yeah, that chapter on fraternal love. There are 2 chapters. It's the first chapter on fraternal love. Now we continue with text 11. Gopajate pachichana Deva Gopala Rupina Idire Krishna Ramacha Nata Iva Natam Nepa. Can someone read the translation and purport by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur?
O king, demigod discuss themselves as member of the cowherd community, and just as dramatic dancer praise another dancers, worshipped Krishna and Balaram, who were also appearing as cowherd boys. Vishnu Sakratar. If they came in their natural form, the devas would be recognized as such and be worshipped by the boys. Therefore, they came as cowherd boys. Like Krishna and Balaram, in this way, Shiva, Narada, and other devas discussed as
disguised
cowherd boys came to taste their pastimes. The word Kobala Rubin indicates that Krishna and Balaram eternally have the form of cowherd boys.
Thank you. So it is said also Shiva, Narada, and many other devas disguised themselves as cowherd boys. So they all were eager, these demigods, these devas, to participate. Disguised demigods. Yeah, I'm just thinking about the eagerness to participate in these pastimes of these demigods. When Srila Prabhupada was in, I think it was in Bury Street in London, first temple, and they had installed Radha Londanisvara, and one morning Prabhupada had the kirtan. Prabhupada was leading the kirtan, and everyone felt so ecstatic. And after the kirtan, they asked Prabhupada what happened. It was so ecstatic, the kirtan. And Prabhupada said, "Didn't you see? Brahma was here, and Narada." That he could see them. So they were eager to participate in the kirtan of Prabhupada. And he asked, since then, he asked devotees to put aside the altar 2 little seats, one for Narada and one for Brahma. And when you go to London, Sow Street in London, the temple, to get darshan of Shri Radha Londanishvara, you will still see these 2 small seats as Prabhupada instructed. So Narada and Brahma were eager to participate in the kirtan. And here we see they are eager to participate in the pastimes, with the disguised as cowherd boys. They came. I'm writing here, there must have been many cowherd boys. Thousands of them must have been there. So many cowherd boys. Because they need a lot of cowherd boys. There were 900,000 cows. No, that's a lot. So you need a lot of cowherd boys. Many cowherd boys were there. So can someone read the commentary of Jiva Goswami, which is on the screen?
Certain persons dressed as dancers and praising Krishna stood up in front of Sri Rama, and others who were sitting as leaders of the group. Sukadeva, in praising them, praises the excellence of Krishna and others. The Devatas refers to some among the group of boys who were famous as his worshippers. The word Devata indicates that these boys had similar qualities to the two boys. Why was their greatness not recognized by others? How could Sukadeva recognize them? They were hidden by their birth as cowherds, but by their qualities they were evident, though the unintelligent would mistake them for ordinary people. They would create astonishment by revelation of their qualities in the appropriate cowherd boy pastimes. How did they become cowherds? They had these forms inherently Goparupina. When Krishna saw his pastimes in his form, they adopted corresponding forms. They had similar forms, dress, and qualities. They were like dancers. They were similar in other qualities also. The word also suggests that because they were in suitable form and quality, they also helped Krishna play Devayanti. O King Nipa, because you are the best of humans, you can understand this.
Yes, that. And it's also in the prayers of the resonance of Jambudvip. Yasyasti Bhaktira Paravata Kinchana Sarverkunas Tatra Samasate Sura. All the demigods and their exalted qualities, such as religion, knowledge, renunciation, become manifest in the body of one who has developed unalloyed devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vasudeva. Prabhupada said, yes, devotees, pure devotees are like devatas. They are counted among the demigods. Interesting that so Lord Shiva was there, Lord Brahma. Okay, text 12. Brahmane langrana exeper aspotana vikarshanai shikri datur niyutena kakapaksa daron kvachit. Yeah, can someone read translation and purport? Who is next to read?
Second Mataji. We can't hear you, Mataji. Prema Antari Mataji.
Yeah. Translation. Krishna and Balaram played with their cowherd boyfriend by bringing about leaping, hurling, slapping, and fighting. Sometimes Krishna and Balaram would pull the hair on the boys' heads. Purport. The Acharya have explained this verse as follows. The word Brahmanai indicate that the boys pretending they were machine would sometimes wheel about until they became dizzy. They would also sometimes jump about langanai. The word sepai indicate that sometimes they would hold object like balls or stone, and that sometimes they would grab each other by the arm and throw one another about. Aspotana means that sometimes they would slap one another's shoulder or back, and vikarsana indicate they would drag one another about in the midst of. Thank you.
Yeah, continue.
They play by the word Niyudena, wrestling and other type of friendly fighting are indicated. And the word Kaka Paksa Darao means that Krishna and Balaram would sometimes grab the hair of the other boys' heads in a playful manner. Swarat Chakravarti Thakur commentary. The boys praise by making sound with their palm in their arm pits as po tanai and engaging in arm wrestling niyu dena. According to Sridhar Swami, Kaka Paksa Daru means the hair remaining on the side of the head after the Sudakarana ceremony. Others say it's mean hair tied in three braids. Others say it's mean lock hanging in front of the ears.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That, of course, there are also commentaries of Jiva Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, but it's the same, more or less. Text 13. Kvashinriyatsu sanyesu gayakava dakasvayam sasamsatu maharaja sadhu sadvitivadino. Yep, someone can read.
Translation. While the other boys were dancing, O king, Krishna and Balaram would sometimes accompany them with song and instrumental music. And sometimes the two lords would praise the boys, saying, very good, very good.
Yeah, and Jiva Goswami can read.
Jiva Goswami. After getting tired from wrestling, Balaram and Krishna, respected as gurus of the arts, would make songs and praise the dancing of others. While the boys danced, they praised them, saying, very good. They particularly praised the boys' dance moves. Thus, the depth of rasa in their playing has been described. O great king, best among kings because of possessing bhakti for Krishna, therefore you are suitable to hear this. After singing along with dancing, Krishna and Balaram also simply sang.
Thank you. So, Jiva Goswami. Now Krishna and Balaram pleasing the boys is described. By their own desires, Svayam, they sang and played instruments while the boys danced. That's it's the festival is going on. That it's also very poetically, very beautiful, singing, playing instruments. That so the cowherd boys were quite skilled. That used all their skills in the service of Krishna. 14. Kvashit bilvai, kvashit kumbai, kvat shamalakamustibihi, aprisya netra bandayai, kvashin mriha kahehai. Yes. Can read translation and purport.
Hare Krishna. Translation. Sometimes the cowherd boys would play with bilva or kumbha fruits and sometimes with handfuls of amlaka fruits. At other times they would play the games of trying to touch one another or of trying to identify somebody while one is blindfolded. And sometimes they would imitate animals and birds. Purport. Srila Sanatana Goswami explains that the word adhyay by other such sports indicates such games as chasing one another and building bridges. Another pastime would occur at noon. While Lord Krishna was taking rest nearby, the young cowherd girls would be passing by singing, and Krishna's boyfriend would pretend to inquire from them about the price of milk. Then the boy would steal yogurt and other items from them and run away. Krishna Balaram and their friends would also play a game in which they would cross the river in boats. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur further explains that the boys would play with fruits by throwing a few in the air and then throwing others to try to hit them. The word Netra Bandha indicates a game in which one boy would approach a blindfolded boy from behind and place his palms over the blindfolded boy's eyes. Then simply by the feel of his palms, the blindfolded boy would have to guess who the other boy was. In all such games, the boy put up stakes for the winner, such as flutes or walking sticks. Sometimes the boy would imitate the various fighting methods of the forest animals, and at the other time they would chirp like birds.
Yeah, can someone else read Purport of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur?
Yeah, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura. They threw bilwa fruits, kumbha fruits, and amalaki at each other. They're trying to touch each other and avoiding being touched. They approached each other from behind unnoticed, trying to put their hands over the other boy's eyes. If they succeeded in doing so, they won. The prize was a flute or stick. They imitated various animals and the cries of various birds and beasts.
Thank you. Someone else can read Sanatan Goswami purport.
Adye represents other play such as building dams in the rivers, hiding from each other, throwing dice, and having cockfight. Then at noontime, when it was time for the Lord to rest, they would block the young girls who had come close by on the pretext of taking milk products to sell and steal yogurt from them. They would also cross the Yamuna in boats.
So, thank you. We will end with this section today. That until now, any comments or questions? That Otherwise, we can go to, because I was thinking to read from Donakili Kamudi about the tax pastime, Krishna and the coward girls, and also to read more about the fraternal love from Nectar of Devotion in the next chapter. That yes, Radha Murti Devidas.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances.
Yes,
Maharaj, as we heard about the climate of the Vrindavan, it was so pleasant even in the summer season also. So, is it due to the arrival of Krishna there, or it is before Krishna's arrival also? It was the same climate.
That, of course, it's an interesting question. I don't know the answer on that, but when Krishna arrived, when his pastime started, Bhumi started to give all wealth, especially also in Vrindavan. So Bhumi plays a role in that for sure. We see the weather today in Vrindavan. It's not the same. If it's summer really. It's scorching heat. So it was different when Krishna was there on the planet. Because Krishna brought his spirit, the Goloka Vrindavan came down and he appeared. It's a replica that appeared from the spiritual world when Krishna started his pastimes. And that, so when Krishna put his feet on the earth, everything became auspicious, and especially in Vrindavan. So it's surely the influence of Krishna during his presence. in Vrindavan. Yes, Ananda Dulai Prabhu, you can give us more information.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, regarding my doubt, Maharaj, Gopa's a friend in Vrindavan in a pastime in Krishna Lila. They all sometime whoever the devotee promoted to Goloka, they will have to promote to the pastime of the Krishna pastime, then only they can go back to Godhead. Is it true, Maharaj?
Well, there are, in Krishna's pastimes, there are different kinds of devotees who become his associates. There are the Nitya Siddha devotees. They are coming from the spiritual world. And they are not really in touch with the material energy when they come. Nanda Maharaj is now in touch with material energy. But there are those who, because someone asked Prabhupada, if we are 90% pure, will Krishna accept us? And Prabhupada said yes. And then the devotee asked, and 85%. And Prabhupada said yes, but it would not go lower than 80%. So we know when we come near the end of the anartha nivritti, all the results of our previous karma are practically all destroyed. But there are other anarthas, anartha from namaparat and so on, that goes further. But if you are nearly pure, then, and the example given many times is that, the Shruti gopis, they were sages in the forest of Dandakaranya. The forest, so 2 million years ago, when Lord Ram came to this forest, these sages were nearly liberated. And they were asking Lord Ram, we want to have a relationship with you in conjugal love. And Lord Ram said, no, and not possible. Eka Patni, I have only one wife, Sita. But when I come back at the end of Dvapara Yuga, you can have that relationship with me. Now, that you will study also later in the pastime with the gopis.
Okay, thank you.
That comes later. But then this Shruti Shari, so these sages of Dandakaranya, they appeared in Krishna's pastimes and took birth in the womb of gopis. But when Krishna played his flute, they wanted to go out, but they could not, because they were not 100% pure, but they were stopped by their relatives. But by their eagerness, they burned all their previous karma. And then the next time, they could take part in the rasa dance. So they are trained by the Nitya Siddha gopis. That, of course, Lord Chaitanya is also Krishna. He appeared in Kali Yuga. And because we are part of his Sankirtan movement. When we engage in his Sankirtan movement, we are also in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. And that is an opportunity to go back to Godhead in one lifetime. And that's what Prabhupada wants us to do. Not easy, but by engaging in Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan mission, it's possible. That's a special opportunity. Does that help?
Okay, thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Good. I would say let's end here today. You can read the next of the chapter. We will soon hear about Palambasur, because there are not so many verses here. So tomorrow probably we will finish it. Tomorrow, because here it's now 1 p.m. in Belgium, and tomorrow I'm traveling from the coast to Radha, that's 300 kilometers in the early morning. I should arrive there at 8 p.m. a.m. in the morning. That is here 12:30, and I hope I'm ready to see you for the next part of this chapter. Hare Krishna. Jai Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Bol.
Thank
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.